Today we're talking about Selena Gomez's vocal evolution. So this is a new series that I am starting. I'm really excited about it. I've already done Taylor Swift's vocal evolution and I had a lot of fun with it. So if you want to watch it, click over here. And today we're doing Selena Gomez. I'll admit, I don't know Selena Gomez's voice super well. I remember her voice. She was singing a lot when she was in her Wizards of Waverly Place era. I was in high school and she was singing a lot on Disney Channel. And of course I know her most popular songs in her music career since then, but I haven't been following her career very closely. So I'm really excited about this one. This is from the years 2002, from when she was 10 to 2023, when she was 31. We are almost exactly the same age. She's a couple months older than me. I'm acting like that's like a claim to fame. Okay, let's do this. Oh my gosh, look how cute Selena is. 10 years old. Over the rainbow. Aww. She's 10 years old. She sounds fabulous. That's all I'm going to say about that. Her dress is very camp rock, isn't it? Just that whole era of Disney Channel. It really is. It has like a built-in necklace. I love it. And like the faux leather leggings. She's 16. This is a big performance for her. This is interesting. It sounds very different from her voice now, which is normal because she's a teenager here and our voices are still developing as teenagers. If you guys have been watching for a while, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. It is not just male voices that change during your adolescence. It's everybody. It's everybody's voice. And so her voice is higher here. I feel like Selena Gomez is a really great example of an alto, or maybe some people would call her a mezzo-soprano, but you can hear it in her speaking voice. And I'm talking about like today, as a 30-year-old woman, her voice is much lower than mine, for example. Here, her voice is higher. I will say what I'm hearing is some jaw tension. But Hannah, how could you possibly hear jaw tension? I'm so glad you asked. Let's talk about it. It all comes down to the vowels. So listen closely to her vowels. There were some words that ended with shun, like attention, I think, nation, things like that. Just listen to her vowels. So sensation, it's really small and tight. Invitation, and she's with her band. Obviously, she does not need to have the most perfect vowels. That would be really boring. I am not a perfectionist when it comes to voices. How could we possibly like want everybody's voice to be like perfect and perfectly balanced all the time? To be honest, that's really boring. Like we want diversity and contrast. And sometimes we want some of the like not great singing, like bad habits. Sometimes we like that sound, okay? Right here, this is where I would say, okay, this is an example of a sound that's not sustainable. After this performance, if Selena were to say, this Selena at 15 years old were to say, I loved the way that I sounded, I feel great, like no complaints, I would say, I hear you, girl, go off. That's amazing. But this sound, what we're currently doing, will lead to a vocal injury. Unfortunately, it will lead to, at best, a really, really tired voice after performing like this. And at worst, like some vocal nodules. And that's because when we're so tight here, our jaw and tongue, right? When we have jaw tension, we have tongue tension and vice versa. Because that's happening here, her larynx is also rising. So that's what's creating this sound that is very, I would kind of call like thin. There's not a lot of resonance behind it. Again, she is much younger than she is today in this clip, but that is all kind of this external tension that's causing her voice to be a little squeezy. So it's not sustainable. And my job as a voice teacher is to make my students' lives easier. That's what I think of. It's not to bring you to perfect balance all the time, especially for a singer who is a professional and doing this all the time. You got famous for a reason. People love your voice as it is. I'm just here to help you sing in a more sustainable way. Let me make your life easier. Because I would also imagine that this sound probably doesn't feel great. I would bet that after this performance, her voice felt a little tired. But 15, 16, she's got great stage presence. Good for her. Very proud of little 15-year-old Selena Gomez. Oh my God, what is that amazing smell? Oh, wait, it's me. Because this video is sponsored by Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription that lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try out every month for just $17. You don't have to invest a lot of money in a big bottle of designer perfume that you might not love. Scentbird lets you try out that designer fragrance with affordable and flexible subscription plans, and you can also pause or cancel your subscription at any time. Also, you get to pick what you receive every month, so there are no surprises. This month, I got 3 incredible fragrances, and I'm going to tell you about them. This one is Queen Flora by Malo. This one took me by surprise because, guys, I'm going to be real. I don't like floral perfumes. I choose to smell like a sexy cupcake at all times of the day, so anything that's very sweet, like, I love that. This has changed the game for me. The next one I got is called Wet Cherry Liquor by Boho Boko. This one smells expensive. If you want to smell expensive, this is the perfume for you. It's got cherry and caramel and like the slight like vibe of an expensive cocktail, but it doesn't smell like alcohol. Oh my God. And this last one is called Sexual Fleur by Michelle Germain. Here we have another slightly floral one that if I just read the description, I don't think that I would want it. And I love that you get to try it out because it's so good. And these are not like your typical trial size of perfumes that are like this big. These are a 30-day supply at least. If you're like me and you like to try different fragrances, this is gonna last so much longer. I am not a signature scent kind of gal. So Scentbird is literally like the perfect product for me. Scentbird is available in the US and Canada, and if you use my code BAILS55, you get 55% off. That means it's only a little over $7 for your first month. Thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video, and thank you for using my code BAILS55 to get 55% off your first month at Scentbird. Bye! Go smell good! This next clip is also from 2008.
'Cause I don't feel so good. Tangled up inside. My heart is on my sleeve. Tomorrow is a mystery to me. And it might be wonderful.
The first thing I'm hearing is some nasality. Now, some people will use that as like grave insult, like you have a nasally voice. Nasality is a part of singing just like everything else, right? So we're looking at this objectively. And Selena Gomez fans out there, this is my disclaimer. I should have said this at the beginning. We're just having fun. We're noticing. We're not judging. We're analyzing, not judging, okay? Don't hurt me. She's singing with some nasality, but here's where that's coming from. The squeeze that we were just talking about. So that external tension here is squeezing her vocal folds. It's a little, there's too much compression, and that is causing some nasality there. These are all things where we might have a bad habit that we then kind of overcompensate for. A lot of the things in our voice are like a domino effect, right? So if we have external tension, we're going to have internal tension, which is going to lead to some habits that we don't love and that are probably uncomfortable. Listen to it again and see if you can also hear the nasality that I'm talking about.
Tangled up inside. My heart is on my sleeve.
Right there, my heart is on my sleeve. That's the part.
Tomorrow is a mystery.
Right there too.
And it might be wonderful.
Okay, this is such a great clip for us to analyze. I'm excited about this. As she goes up to the top, there is a flip there, and that I believe is intentional. It is right at her first passage. A flip is also not always a bad thing. We hear them a lot used as a style choice. But what I am hearing is that it's incredibly light and breathy, almost a falsetto. Listen to right here as she flips up. Might be wonderful. There's so much breath and her vocal folds are so thin that that's probably about as loud as she can get. So the reason that that's happening is, number one, she's very young. And number two, she doesn't have the strong foundation on the bottom to support her going up. I'm sure going through her first passage at this point in her life was very tricky. And she's navigating it really well. She's doing lots of different things to make this feel very intentional. And it doesn't sound bad by any means. This is another thing that I say all the time. We're really talking about good, better, best. We are not criticizing. We're not getting into like bad singing. I don't even believe that that's a thing. We're just kind of analyzing how it could be better, right? And what's going on. So she does transition into a mix, but it is really squeezy. So listen to the difference between that really light falsetto on the top to the mix that she does right here.
And it might be wonderful, it might be magical.
Guys, I know I'm spending some time talking about this. Side note, can you please tell me in the comments how you guys feel about these longer videos, like where I'm really getting into like the nitty gritty of the voice? Let me know what you think. I'm trying something new. What I want you guys to notice, this is really cool. Actually, you can see her head lift and you can actually see her tongue thrust down, and you can see that right here. So some people think that's like, it gives you a double chin. That's your tongue. The floor of your tongue is tightening and thrusting down, and you can see that. So from her falsetto into this mix, it's squeezy and we can hear that, but also you can see it. So watch this.
Straight of me, and it might be wonderful, it might be magical.
Magical, and her head comes up. Isn't that so fascinating? So we can see that. That probably doesn't feel very good to her.
It might be everything I've waited for.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Oh, but even if I fall in love again with someone.
Yes, that was really nice. So she strengthened that falsetto. It wasn't falsetto anymore. It was a much stronger head voice. And you can hear when she sings again, there's some air through that, almost to the point where it's like a rasp slightly. And that just shows me that that note is difficult for her, and it's a ah vowel. She's making it a little bit too wide. Wow, we're really analyzing this clip from when she was 16. But I think it's worth mentioning.
It's all your own, and I can tell it comes naturally.
She sounds great.
Naturally.
And she's singing a
You
cappella.
follow what you feel inside. It's intuitive. You don't have to try. It comes naturally.
This is really cool with her evolution because her chest voice is getting stronger, and that can be from some vocal training she's doing, but also just because she's getting older. And there is a little bit of air there. It's very common. I struggle with the same voice type, a light chest voice type. That means I just kind of have to remind myself to get fully into my chest voice when I am singing. And our chest voice, by the way, is the bottom of our voice. It's around our speaking voice, right? It's really important that that is strong, like the roots of a tree, so that when we go up to the high notes, we are well supported. And she's doing great here. I love it. Okay, now we're getting to 2009. My girl is 17. I'm having like a flashback to this song. So I was 16, 17 when this came out. Oh my God. She looks great. I know 17-year-old me would have watched this and been like, I'm going to dye my hair dark. Because I'm easily influenced. You guys know every time I like see anything with Taylor Swift in it, I'm like, that's it. I'm getting bangs. I'm doing it. I'm getting bangs. She's much more subdued in this one, stage presence wise, which I think is interesting. This is a New Year's Eve party, so interesting. But she sounds great. I think that we can still hear this kind of like high larynx sound. Our larynx, by the way, is our voice box. In some people, especially male voices, you can see it's your Adam's apple, right? You can see it. But if you want to find where it is, put your hand on your throat, swallow, and you'll feel your larynx go up. So what we really want when we're singing is our larynx to be just really chill, not doing anything, feeling very relaxed. Our larynx is directly influenced by what the external tension is doing. Hi, I changed my lighting again. Don't worry about it. Our larynx is directly influenced by our vowels as well, which is very cool. So I'm hearing that from her. It sounds like that's just kind of what's going on with her voice at this point in her career. But again, I love these vocal evolutions because you can see the progress. I think when we're listening to a singer, there is so much much more to the picture than just that performance. So it's really fun to see the progress and see how these singers are evolving over time. There's a lot of things that we don't know, and I wish I knew, like their vocal routine, what teacher were they working with, what were their favorite exercises, etc., etc. But for this vocal evolution, we have more context than we normally would have, and she's doing great.
Regresa aquí, abrázame. Soy un desierto sin tu querer. Vuelve con
Okay, we're gonna pause. So first of all, her voice is doubled, which makes me wonder how much support she's getting from her pre-recorded vocals in this performance. But you can hear as she goes up to the top, again, a pretty breathy head voice, but then she shifts into more of a belt when she gets to, I think the word is rain. So very light head voice there. And then that's belt. Oh, also that was in Spanish, so the word was probably not rain, but you know, that vowel. Actually, that was pretty nice. Definitely still a little squeezy. And it's kind of hard to judge, but it did sound like really supported by pre-recorded vocals. So that's all I'm going to say about that performance. Here we are in 2010. So she's 18. Math.
You made me insecure and told me I wasn't good enough. But who are you to judge when you're a
She
diamond
sounds so good.
I'm no beauty queen. I'm just beautiful me.
This song was revolutionary when it came out. I feel like back in the early 2010s, the energy was like, I know that I'm not like a model, but I love myself anyway. And now the energy in songs like this are, you didn't think I was a model, you, I'm gorgeous and I'm a queen. And we love both of those things. Honestly, I think it's a progression for all of us. So I think that's really funny because she says, I'm no beauty queen. I'm like, Selena Gomez, yes, you are. What the heck are you talking about? But she sounds incredible. So good. Like there must have been some really good vocal training for her in between these performances because she sounds really nice and balanced.
Who says you're the only one that's hurting? Trust me, that's the price of beauty. Who says you're not pretty? Who says you're not beautiful? Who says?
Also, you guys have no idea how hard I rocked the leggings, boots, long tunic, and a scarf. That was my look. My senior year of high school, my God. Honestly, she sounds great. To me, it sounds like she had some really good vocal training and her voice was developing really, really nicely. I think taking lessons as your voice is changing is great, as long as it's with a good teacher, because a lot of the time I feel like teenagers are not given the patience and understanding that they need to know this is not the time for us to be trying to sound like anyone else or trying to sound more adult. As long as we've got good technique, of course, we can still work on vibrato and belting and sparkly resonance and everything that we love from our favorite singers. But I have unfortunately worked with some young people in their early 20s who really got some vocal baggage from a poor teacher in their high school years. It sounds like her vocals are developing really nicely just as she's getting older and has a good teacher. That's just what I assume. It sounds great.
It's such a funny thing how nothing's funny when it's you. You tell them what you mean, but they keep writing out the truth.
She's musical theatering this song so hard right now. I kind of love it. I know that there's more to your career as a backup singer, but it's got to be so fun to get paid to stand behind Selena Gomez and just sing na 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 na. A bunch of nanas. Mad respect. I just think that sounds really fun. She sounds great, honestly. She's grounded in her chest voice. She's not squeezing as much. I love it. She also is giving me like Aria realness in this outfit, the makeup and everything. Aria from Pretty Little Liars. Sorry, I just said that as if you should know that reference. Tell me if you knew that reference before I said what it was.
On the way to you, but you're too damn scared to fly. Hit the lights, let the music move you, lose yourself tonight. Come alive,
given the Disney knees. Love it. I won't say a lot about this clip because I think she sounds really tired. I think she's probably not at her vocal best because I'm hearing a lot of squeeze on the top, really not a lot of chest voice on the bottom. She sounds vocally really exhausted. That's all I'll say about that clip.
Want you to know, baby, I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song.
Selena Gomez looks so good in black. She is singing in a super comfortable place for her voice, which is genius. Good job. We need to work with what we're given. And she sounds great. It's still in her chest voice and it sounds really balanced. It's just kind of repeats in that area. Can we talk about how her backup singer right here is giving so much more than Selena is? So great. I love it.
You love me, why did you leave me all alone? You tell me you need me when you call me on the phone. Well, boy, I refuse, you must have me confused with some other girl. The bridges are burned and now it's your turn to cry. Cry me a river.
Okay. Pause. She sounds great in the bottom of her voice. She's giving a lot of like that vocal fry. She sounds a lot like Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More Time era at the beginning. That's what it's reminding me of. But then she flips up into a lighter head voice, breathy sound here.
Cry me a river. Cry me a river.
But I think it fits really well.
Gotta worry, it's an open invitation.
Oh my God. Look at her outfit. Look at her outfit. She looks amazing. I just said that black like was her color. I think it's this red.
Gotta worry, it's
So this is 2013.
I'll be sitting right here real patient.
Oh, she's got the pop star microphone. You can tell that she's singing with a lot of support from background vocals. So she is lip syncing a lot in this performance, probably because she's dancing. And you can hear her live singing kind of come in and out. So they did not mix that very well. They did her a little dirty in that regard. There's nothing wrong with singing with some support from pre-recorded vocals. Nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't say she's lip syncing. She's definitely singing live, but she has a lot of support. Honestly, it reminds me of a million years ago when I was in a musical and I had to tap dance and I was Fiona in Shrek and I had to sing the end of it and I had to sing that big note, but I literally could not do it. So I had to stop dancing so that I could sing the note. If only I could have been lip syncing that note. So if she's lip syncing because she's dancing so much, honestly, I get you and I respect.
I can't compare to nothing I've ever known. I'm hoping that after this fever I'll survive. I know I'm acting a bit crazy.
What's with the hands and like, is that barbed wire? I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was like a Jesus thing. Is it? It's probably not, right?
That I'm gonna make it out alive.
Sounds good.
Let's get cold, you're not here. The future that we hold is so unclear.
Okay, that's a really great example of how her voice has improved. She's getting up into her first passage and she is starting to mix. So she's doing that in a really balanced way. And then as she goes up to the top, she's choosing to flip into a more head voice sound.
Let's get cold, you're not here. The future that we hold is so unclear. But I'm not alive until you go. And now with the odds against you.
I'm da da da, whatever the word is, da 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 da. She's still losing some strength on the bottom with that descending line, which is hard to do no matter who you are. I'm still hearing like slight tension. Like I think that this Selena from 2014, there are definitely some things that we could do to make her life easier, but this is so much better than what we heard, I think, in the clip from 2009, where it was very squeezy. There's still a little bit of tension, but it's so much better and it sounds more comfortable for her.
Love you all I could be. Only one good thing would try to be in time.
what a fun little clip. I wonder where this came from. This is also 2014. And you can notice her jaw tension. Again, can you guys see it? So when she even sings, love you, she's singing that in her head voice. Her soft palate is lifted. Obviously, that's an intentional choice, but you can see that her jaw's locked a little bit, and subsequently so is her tongue. And then you can see it a lot right here. So you guys can see it. She's got a rogue vein coming out, and her chin is getting thrust forward. Sound-wise, she sounds really beautiful. She's doing a good job. I don't think that this is the worst tension. It's not raising her larynx as much as it was in the past, but I think that rogue vein, I don't think it belongs there. I don't think it's there all the time. So I think that's a pretty clear indicator that she's experiencing some tension, but she sounds great. Remember, everybody has tension. Nobody's perfect. Not even our favorite professional singers. We are analyzing. We're not judging. Oh my God, she looks so pretty. Gorgeous. That was so pretty. I want to know what she was doing with her voice in these years in her early 20s, because she is making progress really quickly. So she must have been training and working on her voice consistently. She sounds so pretty here. What are all these men doing in a circle, snapping around her? What stage designer, artistic director, whatever, made that choice? I can't think of a more intimidating experience, actually, because it looks like you just walked into like an AA meeting and they're about to like have some Sharks versus Jets moment. That is so scary. She sounds great up there. I would say we're a little squeezy, but we already know through these clips that that is just a tendency of hers. She struggles with a little bit of a squeeze. Don't we all? Comment below if you struggle with a little bit of a squeeze. No big deal. Clearly, it's getting better and better and better. So she's mixing up there. It's really nice. Like, it doesn't sound painful or unsustainable. Of course, since I'm always looking for the teeniest, tiniest little things, because again, here to make my students' lives easier, for sure, there are some things that I would want to work on with her to just make sure that we're maintaining the longevity of her voice as she's performing a ton. But again, based on this evolution, it sounds like she was really working on her voice, and I think that's incredible. She sounds really amazing. It is very clear improvement over time. So this is 2016. Very shouty, which I feel like this is very uncharacteristic to her, at least from what I've heard so far. So really interesting. Watch the way that she kind of gears up for this high note right here. So she first breathes and her shoulders come up. So that's a shallow breath. So we're not supported. Number one, that's not going to give us the air that we need. And number two, that's not giving us the support we need. And by support, I mean connection through our core and the muscles around our diaphragm and our rib cage, right? When I breathe up here, I'm already tense. Like before a note has even come out of my mouth, I'm already tense. And she's about to belt. So that's not really setting us up for success. That's pretty much guaranteeing that we're going to be shouty. This is a great song for her voice. And she's going full on hairography, which I appreciate. So that clip, I feel like she was just in a really comfortable place in her voice. It seems pretty clear to me that Selena knows her voice really well. Like at this point, she knows her voice and what is comfortable for her. And that is such an important skill because sometimes we have like a voice in mind that we want to sound like, and we don't actually take the time to find out what are my own voice's strengths and weaknesses. We can work on the weaknesses, but it is important to know like, where are we, so that I can take advantage of that and do what my voice feels really comfortable with, because you're going to sound better when your voice is really comfortable. That's just how it works. And that song was really great for her voice, in her chest voice, just a really great place for her to be singing. There's a lot of yelling happening here. Iconic duo. This is so fun that they're performing this together. Selena is yelling that song and it's tight. And that could be probably physically she's not feeling great or feeling vocally fatigued. Like something's going on there, but definitely that's shouty. That's a bit shouty.
Always wanted to be one of those people in the room that says something and everyone puts their hand up. Like if you're soft, put your hand up. If you're scared, put your... No. If you're scared, put your hand up. Feel like I'm always apologizing for feeling like I'm out of my mind when I'm doing just fine.
So on those top notes, it's really airy in her head voice, airier than I think she wants it to be. And so then when she comes back down to her comfortable range in her chest voice, it takes her a minute to find her footing down there again. So see if you can hear that.
Feel like I'm always apologizing for feeling.
Always apologizing for feeling. It's a little bit light, but then she gains more as she's down there. So our voice builds on top of itself. That is in the way that we work on our voice. We start by focusing on our chest voice to make sure we have a good foundation to start building our range on top of that, but also like in a song, right? So thinking about problem spots in a song as more like what is happening a few measures before and after, like the context of the song. Because she's so light, that isn't setting her up for success when she goes back down on the bottom. So what I would suggest is making sure that this song starts on the top and that we're staying connected and grounded and physically supported, right? She's sitting down, which is totally fine, but she should be feeling like her whole torso. I like to say like you're wearing like a corset, but very comfortable, right? You can feel the structure, not that you're being squeezed, but that you can feel the structure of that on your body. We're not getting that, and so it is really light, and so she loses it a little bit on the bottom.
And my exes will say that I'm hard to deal with.
But then she's back where she needs to be.
It's true.
Okay, so here we are in 2020. This means that Selena is 28.
Don't care. Why don't you recognize I'm so there? I'm always there. You don't do the same for me. That's not fair.
Way less tension in this clip.
I don't have it all. I'm not claiming to, but I know that I'm special.
So I've noticed that in a lot of her songs, her backup singers are singing in unison with her. That's maybe what I was hearing earlier when I said her voice was doubled. Maybe that was naive to say. But I think that's really interesting that that is happening a lot in her music. I wish that I could hear her clearer. I wish that it was just her and maybe like some harmonies in the back. But the unison, I just feel like is pulling focus away from her beautiful voice. And I believe in this one that she is actively trying not to be tense. Like her head is not coming up. Her vowels are so much better. Evidence to me, again, that she is intentionally working on her voice and it is working for her. Good job, Selena. I'm so proud of you. You sound great. We skipped a couple years. 2022. So she is 30 in this clip. That's beautiful. She sounds beautiful. This is not the showiest song. She's really staying floaty, but the harmonies sound beautiful. You can tell she's really nervous. Can you guys tell? You can see her hand shaking a little bit. She has less breath support. I point this out because we are human. They are human. Even though we watch our favorite singers and we're like, how are you so talented? And I'm just a peasant and I don't know how I could possibly ever sound like that. We're all human. The voice is susceptible to emotion and whatever is going on, and like nerves. Have you guys experienced that where your heart starts racing and like suddenly you have to pee a lot? Does that happen to anyone else? And you're just so nervous. That is hard. She's singing through it beautifully. I'm actually very impressed with how she's handling it, but I can tell she's a little nervous. Gorgeous. She's taking really big, shallow breaths again, but I think it's mostly from the nerves. Vocally, she sounds really nice, and I'm not seeing a lot of tension, which is amazing. She's been working on that. And she's mixing up there beautifully. So that was the most recent clip that I could find of her singing live. This video has definitely given me a greater appreciation for Selena's voice. And I think as we go through other singers, I'm just going to keep experiencing this because of course we know that Selena can sing, but to see her progress and how dedicated she was to improving her voice, I am sure she still takes voice lessons. You know, you don't just like reach vocal enlightenment and then just stop. It's constant maintenance and working with a coach. And she's worked on her voice, and it's so cool to see visually and also hear the tension going away as she works on it. And if that is a tendency for her to sing with a lot of tension, that's something that she's going to have to work on for maybe her whole life. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be like a huge struggle, but that's something that maybe her voice likes to do. And so she's going to have to remind herself to relax and also continue working on the exercises that make her feel the best and less tense. Thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. And if you use my code BAILS55, you get 55% off. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is a new series and I want to do more singers. So if you have any ideas of singers that I could talk about their vocal evolution, please let me know. Drop your suggestions in the comments, and also let me know what you think about these longer videos where I'm getting really like nitpicky and we're really getting into the details. Let me know what you think. I love kind, constructive feedback. Thank you. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm Hannah. I'm your voice teacher. It's been a while since I did that outro. And now you're all my students. Doesn't this feel like 2020 again? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.